employees on a budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, um, I started working at the IT services department at VUT just over a year ago. And when I came in, I had some very lofty goals and ambitions. I wanted to be able to create commercial quality software. I wanted to introduce a continuous improvement culture and a lot of things. And sometimes I suppose a new broom sweeps clean, so it's one of those type of things as well. So when I spoke about my topic to some of my colleagues, they thought, what exactly does work ready mean? And I think work ready means different things to different people. For me specifically, it was, am I confident in taking an employee, a staff member, and dropping him into a situation that he can cope with? Can he go to academic department, for example, and be able to solve their problems, draw process diagrams, run a project, develop software, and so on. Okay. So the question I ask myself is, when I listen to a presentation, is it applicable to me? And so hopefully it'll be applicable to you. Okay. I'm sure most of us have a great work environment, love to come to work every day. You want to stay in the department forever. You are very well rewarded. You believe in the goals of the unit, and you're confident in what you do. If this is you, this presentation is not really. Okay. I'm sure most of us started off this way, but as time goes on, we kind of lost the passion and hope and stuff like that. Okay. So as employees, when you first come into an IT department, especially when you're very young, okay, you expect to be working in these nice data centers, doing cool stuff with the program, computers and stuff, developing software and things like that. But in reality, it seems like what you actually do is work at help desk, and the only programming you do is probably Excel formulas. Okay, and as line managers and supervisors, um, especially when you get new stuff, this is what their expectations of themselves are. You know, they can be the next Zuckerberg. They can program Windows in 3 days, and they can do complex database diagram and structures in 2 minutes. Okay, but in reality, what we get is actually they probably on Facebook more than want to design it, playing games and stuff on Windows and stuff more than actually developing anything. And if you ask them what is normalization, they'll say, what? Okay. So the question is, employees and employers have different wants and needs. Okay. So the question is, how can we actually match it? Can we actually match it? Can we have happy employees and happy employers? I'm not sure yet. Okay. But we have to have realistic expectations. And there is no silver bullet. You first have to figure out exactly what you need in order to get what you want. And it isn't going to magically appear. You have to identify the gaps. Looking forward, looking what you have, and seeing what you can do in order to get to there. And all of us, we aren't psychic. I don't know what my employees expect from me, and they don't know what they expect, what I expect from them without communication. So that's very important as well. Okay. So for me, and what I define as work ready staff. Okay. Excellent problem solvers, a system thinking approach, good communication, great presentation skills. Okay, already it's a tall ask, but I'm continuing. Project management skills, process improvement skills. They should be team players and independent thinkers, and to develop a customer focused environment. Okay, impossible, maybe, maybe not. Okay, so what do I have to work with? 12 staff, half 6 months to 1.5 years experience, mostly in polytechnicians. So I had to take the technicians. Luckily, they mostly had IT diplomas and degrees. So it wasn't that tall ask to help them to move, but they were still doing a full-time job as technicians. They're mostly on contract. And because I started sort of like in the middle of the year, there was no budgets planned, no training programs, and so on. So, yeah. Anyways, so the first thing I did was a skills audit, just to try and understand what I have to work with. And based on the results, I was very excited or worried because most of them said, some of them said that they were experts in Java and MySQL. And when we defined it, we asked, okay, rate yourself in terms of basic, intermediate, and advanced. And advanced means top 5% in the world. So I had people with 6 months experience saying they're top 5% or top 30% as well. Okay. But what they also said was they like learning new things. They like the opportunities in IT. And they also gave a few of the career wishes. They wanted to be DBAs or business analysts and stuff. So it gave me some kind of idea of what they wanted to do. But they had needs and I had needs. Okay. And I had to find a way to close that gap. So what I developed was actually to take those skills that I needed and to convert it into sort of a training course. Okay. I took those topics and I broke it up, I did some research, and we went through these things. Okay. The focus was on practical, non-related IT work. Again, is I wanted them to be able to go into any environment, whether it's finance, academics, residences, student registrations, and be able to work. So when we did these practical examples, it was nothing about IT as such. Okay. Communication again is a key. So when they were doing it, they constantly were reminded of what goals we're trying to achieve. In 5 years, we are all working towards this particular goal. So also they had a sense of what part they played in the bigger picture. Okay. And the other thing, it was totally voluntary. Okay. They could come or they couldn't have come. If they wanted to join, they were expected to do the work, but they weren't forced to join as such. And there was no expectations. I didn't say, yes, you'll be employed as a developer or a business analyst or a DBA. Okay. So what we did was we had 2 sessions a week. It was about 2 hours each in the afternoons. Okay. The first session was about training. So a topic, spoke about the topic, and gave them an exercise. And the second session in the week was presentation of that exercise and then comments. It was split into groups, and we tried to create a competitive environment. So we actually had points and scoring and things, which is very important, I think, um, actually to encourage people and to have some passion for it. And we also invited any other IT staff who might have been interested in going through this program. And of course, there always are some teething problems. And the first one I would say is fear. So because I was new, they didn't know me, they didn't trust me, so they weren't really sure what exactly I was trying to do. And even when they were presenting as such, they were very, very scared, at least for the first 3 or 4 sessions. Ridicule. Their colleagues would actually, tell them, your students are going back to class and things like that. And, they was laughing at them and stuff. So they had to go through that. Time management. So they actually had to balance their full-time technicians' jobs or whatever they were doing versus all these exercises. And some were very hectic. And there was also complaints about team members not pulling their weight. And when they told me about that, I just laughed at them because I said, welcome to my world. Okay. And there was confusion about the exercises because, yes, they were IT people, but again, the exercises were not of a IT nature. And to give you an example, this is one of the exercises. The first exercise actually that they do. Yeah, nothing IT as such. Okay. And these are some of the responses. Okay. So the goal wasn't really about getting the correct answer or a good answer. It was about how they work as a team and did they display any leadership qualities. Did they get the requirements correctly? Did they actually measure and have goals as what to achieve? And of course, the presentation and communication skills. So each exercise or each activity that we did focused on these kind of areas. Okay, what is the process that was used? Did you work as a team? What are the issues that you had, and so on. So the focus was more about the process as opposed to the outcome. And accepting criticism, that was one of the things that I think that they learned a lot about because initially when we gave comments as such, they said, ah, you're crushing me, you're crushing me, you're crushing me. And I'm thinking, how? But we're trying to improve on the product. We're trying to give you a different perspective, ways of doing things, and so on. So until the first 3 or 4 sessions, only they realize that, oh, wait, this is helping me. Because the next time they present, all those questions or perspectives that we're coming from, with they captured in the presentation. So the criticisms got fewer and fewer and fewer, which was excellent. So my take on it, or my lessons learned, again, emphasis on the process, not the outcome. So make sure that the process they used was robust, was they covered all the perspective as such, the aspects, and so on. Okay. Also, it was helped me understand team dynamics. Okay, so they didn't like working with this particular person, or they felt that this person wasn't pulling the weight and stuff. So for future projects and stuff, it also helped me identify who were the key people, who had potential, the talent, and so on. Team leaders were rotated for each challenge. So it also gave me an understanding of who would make good leaders and so on. Okay. And again, it's very important to create a competitive environment. It's actually very much fun to see the teams attacking each other. When one team is presenting, they're asking questions just to try and lower the points and so on and things like that. So it actually forced them to improve both of themselves. And the important thing is to be fair and transparent and involved. It took a lot of my time to actually go through this in about 6 to 8 weeks, but it was well worth it. And you have to be committed and passionate about developing your staff members. Some of the other exercises that we did was, how would you redesign or improve a stapler? Planning a holiday. How would you deal with a congested highway to improve it? And we also did case studies of companies like Walmart, Southwest Airlines, IKEA, just to give a bit of, as a different way of doing things, not in an IT such of not an IT setting as such. We weren't worried about networks or development or software, whatever else. It was all about process improvement and so on. Okay. And the results, improved teamwork and leadership. I think at the end of the 8 weeks or so, we had formed a very good close knit team. And we had people who were displaying leadership qualities. The requirements gathering was excellent. Every exercise focused on how to get the best requirements. And they realized early on that that was the only way to actually guarantee the best outcome. So now when we do our requirements gathering processes, it's very well done. Problem analysis as well. And of course, their communication and presentation skills also was much improved. If I have to rate themselves, I mean, for somebody of 1.5 years experience, I think they can basically compare themselves with someone with 3 to 5 years experience as such. Okay. And of course, in terms of process improvement as well, they also understood the different terminology such as lean, A3, and so on and things like that. Okay. And it also helped me to set the stage for the following: building processes for business analysis, development, and so on. Moving from kind of a reactive environment to a more proactive environment. Identification and fixing causes rather than problems. And also to improve our customer relationship. There's I'm not sure if in other universities, but at our university, there was a lack of trust in IT to actually deliver. And with our renewed processes and our renewed customer relationship, they actually started trusting us more. And now the problem is turning people away as opposed to saying, oh, how can we help you as such? Okay. And important for me is because we constantly communicate and I tell them, what do I expect? What do I want? It makes work less for me because they will know what decisions I will make in order to get to my goal. Okay. Some of the challenges, staff resignations. Yes, when you skill people, they leave. So I think I had about 4 resignations in 1 year as such. I'm not saying it's program related as such, but that's just the reality of the situation. To continue, okay, we did a basic program 101. maybe we can do more advanced stuff. So the question is, should we continue? Not all staff will understand or manage. And the question is, what do we do with that stuff? Is this teachable? Okay. Do I have to keep on giving those instructions, or can I actually train somebody to take over as such? And benchmarking. What are other people doing? Are you having the same problems? Is there anything else we can add on or improve on? Okay. And that's about it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Any questions? Nothing. Okay, thank you. I think we'll break for tea then. Just check your programs, and I think we start again at 3:15. Thank you.